Hi, welcome down to Lower Method Field. I'm Sam Harding alongside Logan Ward as we are here with the NC State Wolfpack as they take on the ECU Pirates in a men's conference clash. And Logan, last night we're coming off a loss, 14-4. Liberty Flames were on fire last night. And what did you see last night in the game?
Last night was a really weak showing offensively for the Pack. Between Johnson and Barber having good games, though, aside from that, they were weak all game. They struggled with their clearing, and they struggled on several facets throughout the entire game. Their defense couldn't hold up against the offensive attack, and really face-offs were the story of the game, as nothing could happen.
We saw just the face-off action. We talked to Will McOwen. He was punished for missing practice earlier in the week, and he did not get the start. That's why Hank Moss got the nod last night. And he doesn't know if he's getting the nod today, but we believe he's going to come into it hot, and they need this, especially with this ECU team. Talked to Coach Luke Christensen. He said that their main focus was winning on the face-off X.
Well, I mean, especially you have to imagine that they looked at the tape from last night and they saw those face-offs, so that you got to know that Liberty winning those face-offs is going to influence this game, especially.
They absolutely are, and always, like we talked about, Miller Barber, need to get him going and just capitalizing on the opportunities. They squandered a lot last night, and but going off that, they need to improve on rides and clears. What did you see last night that they can improve on for today?
Really, the clears especially are just something that they need to work on. And getting the ball to their teammates with those long passes. They need to make sure that they get it to an open man, and they need to work on getting open and maybe playing with a little bit more physicality than they did last night. We saw a little bit of it at the end of the fourth quarter, but they need to have that intensity through the entire game.
Absolutely did, but talking to Miller Barber today, he said it's a feel-good environment. I hear the chatter going. It's a different state team than we heard before. They know it's a conference game. They know that they need to start winning these games more importantly than anything else to get to that conference tournament. What can we expect out of the Pack today?
We got to expect that they're going to try to rebound today. It's an opponent that they feel good against. Like you said, it's a conference game. They really want to win this one. So I expect to see a lot more intensity out of them today than we did last night.
Absolutely, and we will be back for first face-off in a few moments live from Method Field. Welcome back down to Lower Method Field. I am Sam Harding. Alongside me is Logan Ward, as always. And it is a beautiful day out here. It is a little chilly, but the sun is out.
Yes,
no clouds in the area. And we have action as Parker Stanton and I believe that is
Marcus Harrison.
The goalkeepers for the day, is action. Bump it up and go down and do their rituals in front of the goals. And we have Will McOwen will get the nod today. Not getting the nod last night, as we talked about in the open. On his wings is Pryor and Johnson. Johnson put up 2 goals last night.
Really impressive play from Johnson last night, honestly. We saw some good goals. He used his speed and agility to really get to in front of the goal and make sure that he put it in the back of the net.
Absolutely. One of his most impressive plays. Wasn't even resulting in a goal. Yeah. Getting a beautiful snag, hitting a quick spin move right when he hit the ground, and then just got stopped by, I believe it was Ryan Reynolds at the time. And it was a beautiful play by both involved. And here we go, first face. Nice. Ruff putting it right in the sand pit, and McOwen going on against the Fogo man, Garrett Hess.
And you know Stanton, especially at NC State's goal, wants to make up for last night's game. And letting up 14 goals, you can't let that happen again.
Absolutely. And here we go, first face-off lost by the Pack, and broken, beautiful play on the doorstep. Parker holds tight on the pipe, just thwarting the attack there from Jared Blum, senior attackman, who's one of the junior attackman, one of the catalysts for this offense.
No, and like they said, they won that first face-off. As we said, was one of the keys that the coach mentioned to us before the game.
And you hear the chatter from the NC State sideline, fired up as a turnover from ECU gets them going here.
They're a lot more excited today than they were last night, and you can already tell it.
Absolutely. These players know what this game means. First conference game. ECU's coming into this game 2-2. they didn't get their matchup against Elon. It was a draw. I think they had to make that up soon. But this is, I think, first conference game for both involved.
Yeah, State hasn't had a conference game yet, so they want to start this off strong because as the coach mentioned to us beforehand, that if they win their conference games, it doesn't matter what the rest of the results were. They make the tournament.
Absolutely. Here you go. Riding down the right alley. Gets his hands free. Nothing having it there. Good shot down the right alley. Pulls it left, though. That's Andrew Lloyd on the attack there.
It was a good idea. He shot it a little wide to the left and just can't make that happen.
Absolutely, but that's where you want it. He wanted to play slow because he knew he had to back up in the X. Number 12, Carter Rucker on the drive. Just stopped by the big tank of a man, Marcus Harrison. Harrison listed at 6'3" and 275, filling up a lot of that net.
Yep, and I think that's the entire idea there. We haven't seen much of him as a goalie yet, but that size and physicality will benefit him in goal today.
Absolutely. I was watching him in warm-ups. He had quick hands, too, which is very impressive from a big fellow like that. You want to attack him low, exploit him.
No, and there's a reason he's starting as a sophomore, despite the senior goalkeeper on the team, who is Mitch Grunwald, who the coach mentioned we might see today because they're going to try to rotate in all three goalies.
Absolutely. And NC State comes up with a ground ball there, gets shoved in the back, and I believe it's going to be man down in favor of the Wolfpack. Got man down unit now coming in for ECU, and we saw NC State capitalize their second opportunity last night on face-off, and Miller Barber stepping up, rocketing a shot lower left, beautiful placement.
Yep.
And that's what you need out of this NC State team, especially against an opponent like ECU. Get it going early, keep them in the penalty box.
Especially the building up early, like you said. That's what Liberty did to them last night. They just built it up early and just played keep away with the ball for the entire rest of the game, scoring when they could, really. And, that's what State wants to do after suffering a loss like they did.
Absolutely. Ball with Moss now moved up to Barber. Barber quarterbacking from the center of the field, now moved around the backside of the cage, back up to Moss, now to Barber again.
They're taking their time here.
Barber baiting in the long stick, trying to get something moving. They haven't started their play yet. Now here we go, some action on the backside. A little dummy off-ball screen there. That was Carter Rucker on the screen for Barber to get the hands free.
Good job by Harrison, though, deflecting that one away.
So then here we go again. Still man up here for the Pack. Trying to draw the defense in, make sure the help's not there. Rucker got the hands free. No one came up to him, so he took the shot there, and that is backed up by DeLucia.
Had an open shot there, just couldn't get it in. Again, wide left.
This NC State man up, three in the middle. No one back at X yet. Barber's there. A little look-away shot by Barber. And NC State, that ball comes back into the field of play. Rockets off the fence there. This NC State man up has been getting shots off, which is exactly what we want. Here you go. It's going to be even now. You hear the even calls by both teams. And the aggressive defense. And you got a sub coming. That is number 31. That was Andrew Lloyd with the goal. That is a beautiful play. What'd you see on that?
That was a fantastic job by Lloyd there, just knifing through there with his speed. Kept the physicality up, managed to keep the defense away from him, just managed to dodge in there and get a shot on the goal easily.
Absolutely. That's exactly what you need out of your team there, especially coming off that loss last night. It's 1-0 now in favor of the Wolfpack.
And they're getting some more players involved, with Lloyd especially. He wasn't very active last night, but we're already seeing him much more active today, making things happen and getting the first goal of the match right here. Face off again. You got to win these, especially with how weak they were at them against Liberty last night out here. You got to win these, and you have to imagine that there's a little bit of a spark because of how poorly they played last night.
Absolutely, especially McOwen not getting the nod last night, and McOwen got torched there from the Fogo man. Garrett Hess brings it around. Ball's on the carpet, though. NC State comes up with it. Beautiful draw. Oh, they had the opportunity, just couldn't be reined in by number 21, Scholes. And
Had possession shortly, but already turned it over again to the ECU Pirates.
It looked like a good attempt for a counterattack, and now it's going to go ECU. Jack Sarl throws up the hand saying, I've got him. Now it's moved around. It's up with the midi, number 24. And that is Ben Lombardi.
Looks like they're just testing the waters right now. I see them testing which parts of the NC State defense are going to lit up. State holding strong right now, though. Good to see the physicality that they're displaying.
Absolutely.
Something that we may not have seen that much of against Liberty. Kind of a side shot right there going wide for the Pirates. Looks like they're going to retain possession, though, down here. Spin around, trying to get their way in there. Looked like a little bit of a stick to the head there, but they're not going to call it.
No, nothing having it there.
Good job by the State defense, just harassing whoever has the ball right now, managing to keep them away. Opportunity there for the Pirates, missed though, had a man open right in front of the goal.
Pryor just can't rein it in, gets it now, a little shovel pass to Stan looking for someone. No one's coming to him, setting up the clear now, which was a big problem for the team last night. And
yep.
Now with number 21, Scholes reining it in.
Definitely called Scholes' name more than we did, I think, all last night, honestly.
Absolutely, Scholes now getting involved in the clear. He had that miss earlier, but he gets it back and gets the touch for this Wolfpack team as they move it around.
No, and as we mentioned, we've called a lot more names than we did last night because the offense has already had more opportunities, I think, than they did all last game against the Liberty Flames out there. So you're going to hope that they can keep this up all game.
Scholes with it. Got a little stick check there, moves it down to X with DeLucia now. Back up, sees an attack here. Number 3, Tanner Hudson with it.
Kept away by the defense there. Defenseman doing a good job staying in front of them.
Absolutely. Here you go with the attack. Good shot.
Looks like got knocked away from him a little bit there.
Didn't get the hands as free as he wanted. Sully now with it, moves it around. Now to the side with DeLucia, back up to the top. Moves it around the right side of the goal. Now with Barber, moves it back to his running mate at X. Ball's back at top now. Really just feeling out this defense. You know, they can get hands free. It's a shot, but he's just hugging pipe. You can't really get much, especially shooting into the body of a bigger goalie like that.
Absolutely, no. And his huge frame really does take up a good amount of that goal. Hugging the frame like that, he really does take up maybe a good half of the goal there, and it's tough to get it through unless you're going down and through his legs, which is how we got the first goal early in the game from Lloyd.
Absolutely. And here we go, we got the double on. Ooh, beautiful little toe drag there, but ball's on the carpet. It's picked up. We got the fast break going down to Sullivan. Got trailers. You hear people calling his name. No one's having it. Just getting subs in now. Sully's being harassed, moving around the left side. Gets it in, hands free, gets the shot off, and it's chased, and it's going to go ECU. Gotta love the hustle out of the defenseman there. That was number 20. I can't really tell. You got tough to read jerseys as they're in the grays with purple numbering.
Gray really, with purple and the yellow accent, making it really difficult
really tough
to read
on the eyes.
Especially with the direct sunlight, you know, beaming right down on us.
And we have NC State in their home whites as always. The white helmets, white jerseys with the gray trim and the gray pants, and ECU in the all gray and purple numbering.
Yeah, a little bit easier to read State's jersey than it was last night in the dark.
Absolutely, it's much easier now, but this trim for this ECU team is not making it easy on our eyes.
No, absolutely not.
Number 7 with it now, moves it into the middle of the field, harassed by number 38, taken away, and Pryor's on the fast break. Pryor with a rapid cradling,
good
hustling
defense there.
In, great defense.
Oh, bad sloppy play right there.
Sully takes his eyes off the ball before he caught it, looking for the open man, didn't have it. Yeah, Pryor running off. Now we have Scholes with it here. Moving around down to Barber. Do you think Barber not having to score the first goal is good for this Pack team? Because if they start scoring through other players, not just Barber, That's going to be big for this team because you know Barber's going to get his.
Absolutely. No, you got to get more of your team active, and I think that's what we saw last night is not enough players got active on the offensive side, you know?
Absolutely, and there you see the hustle. Definitely much more grit than we saw last night, just making sure to get that ground ball, slapping at the head of the stick rather than let him go back.
Absolutely, and again, I think that goes back to the physicality, really.
DeLucia gets the hands free, saved by the feet. Really doing a good job hugging the pipes is Harrison.
Now, again, we haven't seen much of Harrison yet. State missing wide left on a lot of their shots, but he's looked good from what we've seen. He's got the quick hands and the large frame,
Absolutely.
which you said is really big, for lack of a better term, for a goalie. It's really important to have that, and he's done a great job so far.
It truly is, especially. But I want to see this NC State team start to try to test him low. Didn't get a great shot off there, but got a shot off nonetheless. And you got to think that's what you want the State team. You want to fire shots.
Absolutely.
And there's
absolutely.
a penalty flag down. They got that shot on. They're going to have another man-up opportunity here. They did not get anything done in the first one.
Nope.
But like we saw last night, it took a second attempt for them to get the goal against Liberty. And man-up, man-down units in for both teams. We got DeLucia holding on to it. Now the whistle starts the play. Up to Hank Moss. Now it's going to be quarterback. They got the three men up top, 3 in the middle look going as Hank Moss finds his footing around on the right side. And here we go. Play starts with Moss moving around to Barber. Lloyd had it, I apologize. Move to the middle, exactly where you want it to go. Push in the back, another flag comes down, and we're going to be 2-man up. That was number 40, Hank Moss, drawing the penalty. Moss has been getting a lot more play time in these last 2 games than we had seen in recent games.
Absolutely, and in a couple of roles, admittedly, because last time we had him as the face-off specialist, and, you know, as we mentioned, he struggled getting off the field at times, but it seems like they really want him out there right now on attack, making these plays happen. He's been active. As we've seen, we've called his name quite a couple times so far today, and we're only in the first quarter.
Absolutely, and this NC State team is looking to capitalize. Ball up to Barber. Barber couldn't catch it cleanly. Got 4 on 6 right now. Gets the hands free. Not the shot you wanted, but the shot you got, and it's going to go ECU ball. No one back at X. Feel like they rushed a shot there. Coaches don't look happy for this Pack team. And you hear them yelling, get the goalie, get the goalie.
Well, as we
Ball's
saw,
just going to be chucked to the middle of the field, which not played cleanly. Now it's going to be moved up. You hear a good shot, though. Let them know, hey, I'm still here. There's number 7 now, Justin Knox with it. Justin Knox getting off now. That was number 12, Carter Rucker with the shot. NC State's really getting a lot of shots off, which is what you want to see on this team.
Absolutely. They didn't get enough off last night, and that really kind of bit them later on in the game. But, you know, they've taken advantage, and they've kept – we talked a lot about time of possession last night because Liberty dominated that. But right now, NC State is doing the same right here in time of possession. And they've kept the heat up. They've kept pressuring the goalie. They've kept testing the waters on this defense. And if they can keep that up through the game, they might just have a breakthrough in one of these quarters.
Absolutely. Here you go. Oh, big hit. Blown up, and that's totally illegal. And you got a little scrappiness as he tried to walk over him. That's number 40, Daniel Hannon, the defensive mid. It looked like he tried to do like an Allen Iverson step over there.
That's uncalled for.
And respectfully shoved off because huge disrespect there, but it's what you expect in this rivalry between ECU and NC State. A little chippiness in club lacrosse. Gonna see if that plays into anything else. There's number 40 for the ECU, and I couldn't see who was being stepped on, who got absolutely plowed. And there you go, on the doorstep. ECU scores one, and it's evened up 1-1. A lot of Pirate fans out clapping for their team, now evening up the scoreboard.
As you mentioned, a large Pirate fan base out here today. surprising amount, actually. Usually you think you'd have the home field advantage out here with the fans for State, but it seems like they might be outnumbered by the Pirate fan base right now.
Absolutely, and here you go. We got Will McOwen on the face again with David Pryor on one wing with the long pole in his hands, and we got Devin Johnson right in front of us, matched up with number 30, Billy Murphy. And we got the face-off between Garrett Hess and Will McOwen. Again, McOwen has not won one yet. It's all been dominated by Hess so far, which is more of the same from last night.
Yeah, absolutely. The addition of McOwen, you would hope, would change things up a little bit, give them a little bit of spark in the face-offs, but we haven't seen that yet today.
Not at all. And here we go, McOwen almost couldn't get his hand like he wanted. Gets low, can't scoop it up. There you go, he gets it. Tosses it to Johnson. Pryor, good communication, moves it up, gets the touch with DeLucia, and here we go. Finally a face-off win. Finally some settlement on this offense.
And the game tied up 1-1 now. It's basically like the start over of the game, This is that face-off is like the start of the game, Everything's even, you got to break back out. Your offense, as I've said, has done a great job so far, but it's a game of opportunities, and they've got to create some more.
Absolutely. And this ECU man down did a great job being forced to play 4-6, killing it as well, and then they get a goal out of the deal, and that's big momentum builder. I'd have to say Big Mo is now sitting on the side of ECU. Ball's now being moved around up top with, I can't see the number here, drives to the right side.
ECU,
number 12, Rucker with it.
Aside from the occasional outburst we've seen so far, I have to say ECU feels a little bit flat right now.
ECU does feel flat. Beautiful cut. There you go, testing him low. That was a goal for the Wolfpack, pegging it low. That's 2-1 with 2:11 left. That was, want to say it was Andrew Lloyd, it was, number 31 with a goal tonight. That's his second of the game so far, and that's big.
Yeah, absolutely. He's stepped up so far, and that's something that they needed, really. We talked so much about having Johnson and Barber impacting the game, but you really have to get everybody involved, and right now, Lloyd has stepped up, and hopefully you can have that throughout the rest of the game.
Absolutely, and we now have we have Schultz on the wing with, I can't tell who the long pole is down there. I want to say it might be Jack Sarl on the wing, and it's not. I was wrong. Will McOwen lose the face-off, but poked away there by the long stick. Maybe is number 26, Jake Walls on the wing. Gets his stick checked out of his
Definitely
hand,
going to get a flag for
and
that
there's
one.
a flag just chucked all the way down right to the restraining line. Good throw there by the official. And
better throw than we saw out of the officials last night.
Absolutely.
Couldn't even get the ball to the players.
This ref definitely has the better arm. Sullivan now with it, gonna get a screen from Moss.
Weak screen there, admittedly.
Absolutely, I think it's just like giving him a little space. What he needed to do. Moss now moves it up. Risky pass there. Ball's now with 28. Peter Collins. Collins drives down the right side. Nothing there. Turns it back. No shot happened there. Now he's back up. Oh, good defense there. This is Tanner Hudson on the D.
Skip that one over the net right there.
Now we're going to have another man up try for this NC State Wolfpack.
ECU taking some cheap shots, I've noticed so far. We had that one knockdown over here, and then the slapping the stick out of the hands as the man was going off the field seems just unnecessary at that point.
May have thought he still had the ball in his stick. It's sometimes hard to tell, but nonetheless, he got a check. And Walls just was befuddled and just walked off the field with the stick still on. And as the referee chucked one down to the restraining line. And here we go, gonna be another opportunity. This ECU Pirates club has been doing great on man downs right now. And here you go, Moss tipped away, good little nug there by the defenseman. Moss scurries out to try to get the ball back to make sure he doesn't cause that turnover there. And here we go, gonna be with Moss. Watch Moss cutting down that middle.
They're taking their time, as we saw.
Absolutely. Ooh, fires one in.
Good job.
Forced shot there, right into the stick of the big framed goalie as he moves it up to his defenseman, trying to get the clear.
No, and for as many shots as NC State has taken, Harrison has done a good job just imposing his presence in that goal. It could be a lot worse than 2-1 right now. And although State has the lead, you have to imagine that this game is still very, very competitive.
Absolutely. And here you go. Almost tripped up there by Pryor. You hear the fire calls. Good save there by Stan. Ball slowed down as they hit the sand, though. And you got to break out. Couldn't pick it up. There's number 17, Zachary Watkins, with it now. He just fires one down as time expires. It's a good little idea there, but it's too easy for Harrison on that save, and that is the end of the first quarter. It is 2-1 in favor of this ECU Pirates club, or this NC State team, which is big. They didn't have a lead at all last night. They came out early, got the 1-0 lead, and now go into the quarter break with a 2-1 lead, and we'll be right back in a few minutes. Back down as we get set up for the face-off. Teams now switching sides. Parker Sand now sitting in the other sand pit while Harrison walks around the other with the, now gears in with the fence that just got fixed behind him, and McOwen now gears up ready to go.
Absolutely. And these sand pits, as we talked about last night, called that NC State home field advantage by the coaching staff here.
Absolutely. And
it certainly is a little bit of a different texture than some of these teams are used to playing on these turf fields.
Great defense there by Pryor. Checked away. Teams don't know it. And Pryor getting a little physical with Hess. Hess didn't really care for that. And Pryor lost one over. Great stick check there by the LSM, number 17,
Good
Jackson
job by Johnson
Weatherby. And Johnson sticks with it, gets the touch. Now with DeLucia moved up. Now it's going to be with Carter Rucker for this NC State team as they set up and get the numbers that they want. Andrew Lloyd now comes in and got the first line of middies. And here you go. Lloyd wasting no time, shoots up high, gets decked. And now it's going to get moved around. Beautiful save. He tried to go high to high on a jump shot, didn't have anything. Now he lofted to the other side of the field. And Barber pressing the issue on that ride. And here we go. NC State now on the defensive side.
I've been really impressed with State's defense so far in this game. They've been a lot more aggressive, and you can see by plays right here.
Absolutely.
A lot of physical play for once.
NC State did not get away with it. They had an offsides, I believe.
Looks like ECU will retain possession here.
They will, and I believe that's an offside. It's going to be a technical 30. And here you go, man down. First time we get to see this ECU team on a man-up try.
No, and this is where NC State can show how aggressive its defense can be here. They get a stop here while they're a man down. You'll build your momentum that you've already built in that first quarter, being up 2-1.
Absolutely, and this is going to be big. This is actually all man ups, man downs have occurred on this side of the field. Nothing over on our left of the field, the way we're looking at it now, and
Harrison just kind of alone in the net down there.
Absolutely, not talking to anyone. And we have referees conferring, and they're talking now and gonna get the scoop here. We have both teams confused to what's going on as the wind picks up now. Nice little breeze going around back of our necks here, and you hear ECU trying to pump up everyone. The ECU bench having a good time, clapping, unsure as what's happening here.
Looks like
it's going to be a
2 men down.
2 men down for this NC State team, and really not how you want to start it out. First time on man down, it's going to be 4 instead of 5, and you don't practice this as much.
No.
You practice normally just your regular man down because you don't want to be in this situation. There are some drills where you end up with 4 men in, but it's never really practiced as much as your normal, typical man down. You just run a normal, basic box, it looks like, for this team. Sloughed in the corner, sticks up, trying to bat down the passing lane. It's going to be relying heavily on Parker Sand to make saves because you're going to want to force shots here and then just chuck it to a corner.
Absolutely.
Waste some time.
Absolutely.
It's 2-1. NC State is up. 13 minutes, 46 seconds left in the quarter, and here we go. Moved around now. ECU leaving no time to start up their play. Sends one block. Man dives into the crease. You hear the play on. Man in the crease, and it's going to be starting with Parker Sand. Ball's going to be tossed in the corner, and here you go.
Good job by Stanton there, standing strong against these
Absolutely.
Pirates.
Stanton on the breakout. Stan's making himself useful. Tosses it to the corner. No one there. He saw breaking man on the defenseman. Just wisely just put it somewhere because it's too late to pull it down.
Looked like he panicked a little bit there when he saw the defenseman there.
Absolutely. Just didn't want to waste a turnover because he knew if he didn't have it, it's going to be an easy shot, open net. And we get a release here. Both men in, shot off the side. Stan goes out, picks it up with one hand now. Beautiful little pass to Johnson. Johnson's got wheels. He's just going to wheel it out. Matched by number 24. That was Ben Lombardi matching him. And now balls with Delucia. Now moved up to number 12, Carter Rucker. Getting in the fresh legs. Andrew Lloyd comes back in. Johnson's now out. So we have number 21, Christopher Schulz in. And here you go. Delucia now at the attack. All quick stick there. Good little attempt there for Carter Rucker, but didn't have anything. Now Miller scoops it up, looking for someone to take it from him. Just moves it around wisely to Michael Sullivan now.
Yep.
Ball's up, 21, now 31. Andrew Lloyd has it. Looking for something happening. He's going to go across the top of the defense here. Gets his hands free. Scorches one on the bottom of the turf. Good little box out by Rucker to let DeLucia pick up the ball.
No, and the Pack team taking their time here, which is really what they need to get these options open.
Absolutely. And you hear the coaches say, move it around. You want to settle it down. You get that defense settled in, and then quicker you move it, better you get your footing on offense. They're going to start to worry and slip up, especially long 2-minute possessions like NC State can do. But right now, here you go. DeLucia bring it to the cage. Good little move. Gets the hands free by Rucker, but great save by the big man going down low.
Now, Harrison continues to impress. I thought when I first saw on the roster how big he was, I imagined actually that he was just in there because of his size, but he has really proven that he has all-around goalie skills, really.
Truly does, and here you go. Bringing it down now is the Pirates team, and he gets the fast break. Hands try to go low to high and just sailed one. Not the shot that you want, especially that close to the doorstep.
Absolutely.
You want to just try to bring it in, go maybe high to low, but didn't have it.
Starting to wonder if it's the net because State had a couple go wide left as well down there on that side of the field here.
Here you go, ECU now stepping it in to the far left. Now running around X. Skip pass, beautiful to Lombardi. Lombardi gets the hands free. Low shot, gobbled up by Stanton. And he looks for
good
open defenseman there. Stanton has really stepped up, playing much better than he did last night. And you know he's feeling good, just getting his confidence going.
Absolutely.
And then it's going to be great. Here you go, we got coming in. He's going to get beautiful goal there by number 32, Cody Stanford with the goal. And you know you love that. The defense is now fired up because that was based off a transition goal. And when the defense scores like that, it's big. They get that confidence going, not just notching another goal, but saying, hey, we did good enough on defense. We did so well, we got one in the back of the net.
Absolutely, and you see Harrison down here voicing his displeasure with his own defense because they allowed him to just get right in there and take that open shot and make that easily.
Especially with that long pole, that torque, that close to the stick, you get the faster shot with that. You don't want to deal with that when it's right on you.
Absolutely.
Here you go, more fans coming in. One with pretzels makes me a little hungry. And here you go, face-off one again by Garrett Hess. Hess has been doing very well on the face-off X today. Moves it around to the tackman, and Hess now scurries out of the field. Here you go, just going to be settled in as they got the yellow call on. Defenseman and attackman slowly walking up to the midfield line on the other side. And ball's now with number 5, Ray McCarty. McCarty now on the attack. Can't get it by him, just lofts it down to the X.
McCarty looks to be their speed player as much in the way that Johnson is for the Wolfpack team.
Or Sam Gregory last night for the Liberty Flames. And here you go, ball's now skipped, hands free, low shot. This ECU team loves the low sidearm shots, low to high. Seeing a lot of those right now. It's now 3-1 still in favor of the Wolfpack. Number 5, McCarty with it. The good little move behind X. See, he's rolling around crease, and he gets his goal. It looks like Stan had it, and then he moved a little bit in the sand, and it just popped in the back.
Yep. You saw him come across the front and get hit immediately by the Wolfpack defense, and he just managed to power through and somehow get that one in the goal.
That's the first goal for McCarty, and that's 3-2. This ECU team is just hanging around. They want to get that win. We were talking to Demarest earlier. He said that he hasn't lost in a while to ECU in the time that he's been there. And it is last year they won 7-3 going down to Greenville, and they want to keep that streak going.
Absolutely. Now, if you've never lost to a team, you certainly don't want that trend to end right here today.
Especially, it's kind of like the 16 seed and 1 seed. You kind of want to see it happen, but you don't want it to be you.
Absolutely.
Just like UMBC, they take on Kansas State soon. And here we go. Now ball with number 21, Schulz. Schulz looks like he has something, gets hands out. Beautiful fast break. Doesn't
just barely wide left.
The big Harrison though comes out, and ball's going to be out of bounds. And it's going to go state ball. And Harrison doing a good job coming out of the crease a little bit. And it's going to go ECU ball, actually.
Looks like the ref changed his mind there after calling it to the state side at first.
Here you go, the ride. A little confusion on the NC State attack side, so they didn't really set up. And Barber just lets him go free. And the midi now cradles around, gets his touch. Pryor is not going to let him have an easy time. He's going to let him know that he's there. Pryor is one of the most aggressive players on this NC State squad.
Absolutely, and we've seen a lot of him so far today harassing these ECU players.
Absolutely, and here you go, coming around X, stick checks. Ball's now set up, shot, beautiful. And you hear some fans saying overhand. This is what I want to see too. You got to stop dropping the hands low. You get more control out of it. And ball's around X. The double's coming. Triple team even. Doesn't matter. And Chase is there by the ECU team.
Stanton doing a good job with his goal presence so far, using his stick effectively to create a blockade right there, make sure they can't get through.
Here you go, ECU now twirls it around one more time. Number 20 with it. Patrick Coffey, the catalyst of this ECU team, moves it down. Back to the middle. Impressively got the shot off there.
Looks like the sand kind of redirected that ball when it hit.
Absolutely. His hands were tied up, it looked like. Didn't think he'd get one. Ball's now with Coffey. Again, just going to quarterback it, settle in. Here you go. He's going to get the ISO drive, maybe look to pitch. Now he looks to shoot, and he scores. Coffey now ties it up. It looked like he was going to go a little wide. Had the man running back to chase it. Doesn't matter. Finds the side of the net. And that ties up the game at 3s with 7:30 left in this quarter.
Absolutely. And you dislike seeing that if you're the state team because you had the early momentum. You were up 3-1 earlier this quarter even. But these recent goals have allowed them to tie this game up and prove that they're still in it. And kind of it's a message saying, hey, we're still here. Like you said on defense with the hits, you know, you're still letting them know your presence on the offensive side.
Absolutely. And Coffey notching one in the score total. We don't want to see him going, because that's going to spell trouble for this NC State team.
Absolutely.
We were talking to Coach Luke Christensen earlier. He said that he's definitely one of their top-tier guys on this team. And here we go. Hess now against McOwen. Another face-off battle in that sand area in the midfield line. And One again by Hess. Hess scoots it out to himself. McCohen giving him a little problem. Good little clear now. It's 36. So now over to the midfield line. Middle man couldn't get it. It was Hopkins trying to get the ball back, but stick check. It looked like he got one to the head. Not malicious. Didn't get called. Man running around X got into the goal crease there. Hear the play on, but ball's up with Johnson, so it doesn't matter anymore. Johnson loses it on the run. Just popped out of his 6. Johnson's just trying to push him out of bounds, and he does. It's going to go in favor of the NC State team now. Johnson with it again, or Johnson's just going to walk off, give it to Andrew Lloyd, get fresh legs in. Lloyd's going to get by. Got a little swinging check to the side there to let him know, hey, you're going to feel me in the morning. And Andrew Lloyd's just going to move around and scurry now.
Now, a great job by these teams so far, both of them matching the intensity of the other right now. As we said, NC State kind of had that early lead, but ECU certainly not going away anytime soon. This game is far from over.
Absolutely, and ball's now moved around. Rucker with it. Up to Andrew Lloyd now. Andrew Lloyd with a nice little spin move, dumps it down. Couldn't hang on to it, got hit in the back. Man down there, ball's on his legs it looks like. And now somehow ends up with Harrison. Harrison looks out. Looks
like there was a little bit of a push there.
Absolutely, but it is legal. I think he had the possession, so it's fine. And this ECU team has won the conference game so far against Clemson, and they lost that, so they're now at 0-1 right now in conference, and they want to improve upon that as NC State's coming in their first conference game.
Absolutely, and this is the difference between being 1-1 and being 1-0 for these teams. Both of them are desirable results right here. ECU, you hate going down 0-2 in conference play because that really hurts your chances at making the tournament. And State wants to start off strong here, making sure that they can start off well and make sure that they have a little bit of an advantage going into their other conference games.
Absolutely, NC State now with it on the offensive side, moves it around now. And the NC State, after this, they go down to South Carolina March 24th, and they take on the South Carolina Gamecocks in another conference game. One of the tough matchups in this conference for the Wolfpack, as we talked to Demarest about earlier. He said it's normally a 3-team race between us, SC, and Clemson, both South Carolina teams, while Elon and ECU try to fight to remain relevant and right now this ECU team looks very relevant. They look like they want to make some noise. This Luke Christensen coach team looks very well right now.
And you have to imagine that they're not fond of being looked down upon by some of these other teams that have made the playoffs a little bit more often than them.
Absolutely not. And you have loose ball push on the Wolfpack. Great double team, though, by this Wolfpack team. And Jack Sarl with the defense there. Now it's moved around. Ball's now with number 7, Ryan McCarthy. Now 22, Morgan Thomas.
Good spin move
moves
there
up,
to get free. Defense doing a good job poking the ball loose, but they've just got to gain possession now.
Absolutely. Oh, Sarl takes a shot to the midsection, didn't even know, and then he gets called for a penalty.
Looks like he just swung his stick there, not really with any goal, just kind of flipping around, opens his stick up and tried to take a shot somehow.
18 with the slash there was the call. It's going to be a 1-minute penalty, and we're going to have a timeout taken by the CCU team as they got momentum. It's 4 minutes, 10 seconds left in the quarter. And Harrison's just going to hang out in his own goal, it looks like. Oh, and he's going to run around. He's got his water bottle with him. Always a good move. I remember doing that. I made sure that you could. I asked my coaches, hockey goalies always got to do it.
Yep.
So I always I want my own water. I don't want to have to run to the sideline, because I would do that my freshman year. I'd run to the sideline while we were on offense, get some water, because I was thirsty. I never got a rest, so I wanted water, and I ended up getting to keep some water in my goal. I remember one time it got hit, or referees, they would be like, "Can you just keep it here or keep it there?" I could never get a consensus on where the referees wanted me to keep it. And so
Really just depends on the refs, I guess.
Absolutely. I'd always try to keep it in close, so if it kind of hit it, it'd bounce out and not look like a goal. I was always there's a lot of gamesmanship that went into that.
Absolutely. No, you got to have some tactical responsibility with your water there.
Absolutely. And having the water was nice. I remember defensemen would come up to me and ask for some, and I was just like, guys, get your own. You guys can keep it with me. But the worst, though, is when you forget halfway you want to refill. You forget you're halfway into the run to the timeout, and you're like, man, it'd be nice to bring my water bottle with me. And you forget.
Absolutely. Conferring with your team and you don't have your water. Everybody else filling up.
Absolutely. And you have Harrison running back now with his water bottle. The waterless Stan runs back to his with his defensive unit. They had a good little talk now. They've got to be able to stop this man-up attack because they don't want to let the CCU team lead at all.
Harrison with a strong shot on his own goal with his water bottle, by the way. Hits the back of the net with it. Really just impressive shot right there.
Very disappointed that I missed that. I don't want him to break his cap, though. It's got to be careful. Now he's standing like a old man with a cane, one-legged cross, just watching his offense because he knows it probably won't end up getting the ball coming down here.
Absolutely. Confident in his defense as well to have a stance like that.
Absolutely. Now ball moved around. Number 5, McCarthy now moves it around. Up with number 42, Jared.
Good job.
Disappointing bounce there for Stan. Beautiful save at once. Logan, you have a disappointed look on your face. What happened there?
Just the bounce out. Stanton with a beautiful save there, but he didn't realize that it was still so close to him. Rebounded immediately by the ECU player. I couldn't even tell the number. It happened so quickly, and they just put it right back in the net.
You really can't fault Stanton. He did everything he needed to do, really. Made the save. Ball was bounced, and he just didn't have time to react. His ECU player jumps in, swoops in, crosses his hands to the other side of his body and puts it around Stan. It was a beautiful play by ECU there, giving them the lead 4-3 with 3:49 left in the quarter.
That'll be the second lead change of the game with ECU taking advantage of really now having the lead. They can sit on it a little bit more, and you have to imagine Harrison's feeling pretty good back there.
Absolutely, especially off the face-off. It's going to be won by Hess again, and he's going to have a 3-on-4 break. That was Scholl's breathing down his neck, didn't have it. And you see McOwen matching Hess. That isn't going to get there. Just barely gets there as they switch out, which is huge. Didn't look like McOwen was going to be able to match the speed of Hess, but he did. And now we got number 24, Ben Lombardi, carrying around. Going to try to use the matchup here against the short stick and Scholl's. The double comes. Couldn't get the pass to him. Now Parker Sand's going to be out of cage. One hand on it. Tries a little stutter step. Almost lost his footing. Gets it now. Is now picked up by another attackman. Little soft toss.
Sidearm pass there.
Absolutely.
Was worried it wasn't going to get there.
Now ball with number 26, Jake Walls. Jake Walls now to the backside. No one picks up Walls. And there's a timeout now called, it looks like. Coach Demarest wants to talk to his team, regroup now, make sure that they know what's happening. And DeLucia and Harrison having a few words. I think it was friendly. He's still talking to him, Harrison is. That's something I always do as a keeper running by, just talk to people, get in their heads a little bit. I feel like Harrison's doing that because no one's going to fight him. That's framing. Logan?
Absolutely. Well, just one friendly reminder, PackTV is now live 24/7 on YouTube. Now you can catch the live stream of PackTV as well as all of our on-demand content on YouTube. Search PackTV on YouTube or link to it from our website, go.ncsu.edu/sports.
That was a great ad read there, Logan.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Got to plug where you can, you know?
Absolutely. Here you go. We got stick checks going on. Oh, referee just tosses the stick with no respect for it.
Absolutely.
Throws it down. And then now he's just writing in his little black book there. What's going on? While the other referee saunters back to the ECU huddle.
Don't know what they were doing there, honestly, with throwing the stick on the ground. I've never seen that during a stick check before.
I've never seen him just chuck it. Now he gives it to Coach Demarest. Demarest now with it. Hands it back to the player whose stick was checked, which was Michael Sullivan's stick. And now ECU defenseman's stick is being checked, and it is legal, I believe. The referee's just resting it on his back as the player takes it off, and now he's going to walk back, and this NC State team is going to have the ball, bringing it down, and Harrison runs back to his cage, just fiddling with his stick, just twirling around, keeping his hands warm. NC State now trots out onto the field. We have Andrew Lloyd, accompanied with him in the midfield line is Devin Johnson, and I believe it is number 12, Carter Rucker, and then in attack we have DeLucia, Barber, and Sullivan. Sullivan's been awfully quiet this season so far, at least at home. I haven't been able to call his name a lot. Want to see him get into it.
Absolutely, and that goes back into the getting more players active. Lloyd has definitely stepped up getting those 2 goals early, but the entire offense has kind of disappeared a little bit with this ECU run, with their 3 goals unanswered.
Absolutely, and here you go. We have Lloyd now bringing it down. Barber now at X. Barber doesn't like to attack from X really as much as we'd like to see him, but
Barber's been relatively quiet today as well.
He has, and ball's now with Lloyd. Lloyd's going to now scrape it along the top right side, look for that dump. He gets it. Ooh, just outside was the shot by Rucker. Rucker had the look that he wanted. It looked like he just was trying to challenge Harrison high. He needs to go low on this bigger body Harrison. Here you go, DeLucia now appealing. Barber gets the shot that he wants, fires it. Beautiful save by Harrison. Tried to use the player as a screen there. He just couldn't get it in. Here you go. Now here's the clear. Has an open defenseman. Ooh, beautiful swim dodge. And that is number 25, who's not on the roster for this ECU team. But
several players I've noticed have been a little off from this roster.
Absolutely. That's the Greenville difference.
Absolutely.
And here you go, number 7, Ryan McCarthy with it. We have a McCarthy and a McCarty on this offense for the ECU Pirates, so
I'm sure that's fun in practice.
Fun. Absolutely. Here you go now with McCarthy. Waits for that bounce. Now moves it around to his namesake brother, McCarty. McCarty now around. McCarty with a goal on the day. Now up to McCarthy again. Ball's on the carpet. You hear someone yelling, slow it down. The wind's back picking up.
Gotta love these sideline coaches, you know.
You got to. And ball's now. Pryor's got it. Pryor puts on the brakes. To Barber. Barber with the one-handed grab. Here we go, Barber. Switch to the left-handed shot. Obviously didn't want to take that, but the skill in Barber to realize he needs to switch to the left shot because he wouldn't be able to turn his body and get that righty shot. Now to DeLucia here. Now moving around up to Johnson. We have the ones on the midfield line. Johnson's just going to run around down to Lloyd. Going to get the hands free. Just bounces right off the wrist of Harrison. It's going to go ECU ball. Setting up the ride now for this NC State team.
Harrison has had a lot of saves today, really been impressive in goal. Both goalies have played a lot better than the ones we saw last night, although the Liberty goalies looked especially impressive.
They did. Ball chucked to the box. No one was guarding him. Got a man. Fast break. You got men open now. The NC State team knows what to do. And we're going to use a timeout here with 10 seconds left, 3-4. It's going to be ECU ball when we get back. And NC State needs to stop this goal. ECU is going to talk about just what they can do on offense here.
Mm-hmm. And another friendly plug, I guess, here for some of the other events going around on campus. Don't forget to come out to Moe's Southwest Grill Monday night at 6 for the final Over the Boards with Mike Gazzillo out of the season. Coach Gazzillo, of course, of the hockey team. Here you can relive the 2017-18 hockey season. You can ask questions and meet some of the players. Tomorrow night at 6 at Moe's in the Cameron Village.
That'll be a fun little thing to go to. I sadly cannot go because I have class at 6 p.m. I thought it was going to be
likewise.
Yeah, with our director Kayla Glova, and it's going to be a fun time. Sadly, can't make it out, but I sure hope others that can will go.
In our place, of course.
In our place,
stead.
Of course. And NC State, ECU huddles are starting to break. The Pirates are coming out. One big mass huddle for the Pirates, two smaller huddles for this NC State team, one offense, one defense. You got to think it's all defense, really, just talking, hey, we obviously know what we can and can't do here. We can't let up another goal. If we get it, just chuck it down. It doesn't matter about a clear. Just throw it, get it away as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
And there's a flag. There's going to be a legal stick. I think, is it going to be 2 illegal sticks?
Looks like it may be, actually.
2 flags. Yeah, 1 illegal stick on ECU. Pocket's too deep, I believe, and it's unreleasable. 6 being set down, and then on NC State as well. I can't see how many minutes for both, but that is also unreleasable. And so it's going to be 5-on-5, and you hear ECU cheering about the illegal stick, which is kind of, I find that very comical. But the coach isn't happy with it, but
I think they're really just excited that it was, tit for tat. You know?
Yeah, if both teams, I think they're just going to give that player a little crap. Just let them know, hey,
can't have that happen.
Can't have that happen, but at least it's going to be 5-on-5 and not 5-on-6 or for either team here. So we're still going to get even lacrosse.
Absolutely. A little bit of a long stoppage here, in these final 10 seconds. I think that last break was longer than the 10 seconds that we have remaining here.
Absolutely. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is 5-on-5 right now. One player for NC State did not get the message, and that was Justin Knox, who got the cold shoulder and has to run out of the box. And
here the coaching staff shouting their commands to these players out here.
Here you go. 5-on-5 is much harder. I believe a referee just tied a player's shoe because you can't really take the gloves off. That was pretty cool. And here you go. Ball's now. Oh, going to be a quick dodge. You got to have a quick double. Ball's on the carpet. Man on the ground.
Final 5 seconds here.
Ball just chucked down. And there's the horn sounding off. And that is the end of the quarter. It is that's the end of the half.
Yep.
3-4 in favor of this Wolfpack, in favor of this Pirates team, which really did not see that coming.
No.
We will be right back in a few moments for a halftime recap and preview. And we'll see you then. Welcome back down to Lower Method Field. I'm Sam Harding alongside Logan Ward, and it is a beautiful day out. Still no clouds, and tons of fans out here enjoying the game. We have people laying down, just towels out. And you know who's also enjoying the game? Harrison of the ECU Pirates. He's been playing tremendous in goal. Yeah. What have you seen out of him today?
He's the entire package you could ask for a goalie. He's got the size, the physicality, and he's also got the hand skills, because you can see he's been deflecting several shots that I didn't think he would be able to reach, admittedly, but he uses that long wingspan. He manages to get everything out of goal so far. He's letting up, I don't think, any in the second quarter there.
No, he did not. It's 4-3 in favor of this Pirates team, and Harrison's played outstanding. Parker Stanton also played very well in that first half. He's just one bad break, like 2 bad breaks actually. He had that one that he saved and then just slowly got pushed into the goal, and then he had that beautiful save on the doorstep, and then a beautiful rebound by ECU. And the face-off X continues to be a problem for this NC State team.
You have to imagine that they got to do better on that, really. We saw how much it hurt them against Liberty, and it's really starting to hurt them in this game too. They've got to smooth that down and make sure that they start getting things working and running out of the gate off these face-offs, because they're not getting their offense rolling out of the gate. They have to hope for a stop on defense, and as we've seen, sometimes it's not going to happen.
No, not at all. And keep in mind that we're going to stay with a 5-on-5 because of the 2 illegal sticks that we had in that long 10-second break. And that's going to be a different game than both these teams are used to. We talked about practicing different scenarios that you don't have a lot. Not many teams practice 5-on-5 a lot. You normally will have build-up drills. Start with 3 people in, and then you build 3-4, 4-4, 5-4, and so on. But you normally don't have just regular, hey, let's practice 5-on-5.
Yeah.
You normally just go 6-on-6, 5-on-6, your normal situations that you will have in a game. And so both teams are going to be in a new spot defenses will probably be in sloughed off man, and it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's really, you have to imagine that these situations do bring up some things that they haven't prepared for, as you mentioned. Because in these practice scenarios, you really aren't going to practice your 5-on-5 because you don't imagine that both teams are going to get a penalty at the same exact time with their sticks both being illegal there.
And what we need to see more out of this NC State team is better productivity on that face-off X. Like we talked on, we harp on it a lot, but it is still the heel of this NC State team because, like you said, they're not able to get it to their offense. And that's what this NC State team needs, just to settle it in on offense, give that defense a rest for a second. Especially, it's huge coming off a goal or after giving up a goal. You don't want to give momentum to this ECU team. Once they score and they get it right back down on offense and they start rolling, and then if they can string another goal again, and then they have confidence, hey, Hess is going to win this one, we're going to have another. And then you just keep putting runs like that, and then boom, it's like the Virginia Tech game. And it's a 7-goal third quarter, which is something that this NC State team has to stop.
Absolutely. And you imagine that they don't want the same thing happening. They had a 6-point quarter for Liberty and a 7-point quarter against Virginia Tech. You can't keep letting this happen, and it's happening off of these face-offs, and you have to smooth that down.
Absolutely, and we'll be right back in a few moments to watch the second half. And this NC State team has got to get it going on the face-off X. We'll be right back for some more 5-on-5 lacrosse. Hello, everyone. Welcome back down as halftime is starting to wrap up now. It's got a minute left, and we got Parker Sands getting shots on, getting warmed up here.
Yep, absolutely.
And just we have kids out here who's practicing as well, and we'd like to remind you guys that PackTV is now live 24/7 on YouTube. Now you can catch the live stream of PackTV as well as all of our on-demand content on YouTube. Search PackTV on YouTube or link to it from our website, go.ncsu.edu/sports. And you can catch us live always whenever a lacrosse game is here.
Absolutely.
Women's lacrosse earlier started a little too soon for us. It was supposed to be at 11.
Some
like,
scheduling conflict there.
You know what? Let's get this an hour earlier. Why not? And we have every lacrosse game. Me and Logan at home. We will be on the call.
Always.
Regarding a miracle, we will be together. And here we go, teams. This ECU team sounds fired up, and rightfully so. They come in with a 4-3 lead over a team that they have not beaten in a long time. Last year, losing 7-3 to this same team, and kind of feel like they'd like to keep them at that 3, just as maybe an insult from last year.
Absolutely no. And in talking earlier to the coaching staff in this game, he expressed how confident he was, and including one of the players that we passed saying that this game was a feel-good game for them, kind of build up their confidence again. ECU is not happy to oblige that, They're going to make them fight for this one, and they have so far, and they're going to continue doing so in the second half here.
Absolutely not.
Not the feel-good game they were hoping for.
No, not at all. This NC State team there's a lot of chatter pregame. They were having a great time, but now nothing. They sound flat. They feel flat, and they just haven't been able to do much. And it's going to be 5-on-5. They've got 2 unmarked man on wings, 2 long sticks for both teams. Going to be more defensive here. Got to think it's their best ground ballers. Just going to say it. And it's scooped out to number 30. And McOwen lost Hess there, and now he's going to be on Hess's hip, make sure he doesn't run away. And Hess gets away from him. Looks like he's got the jump on McOwen, and they're going to send him in, except for the man out of the box saunters in, just didn't realize.
Did not have the speed that Hess there.
No, he didn't even realize the opportunity he could have had, and that was Lombardi. Lombardi, more of a slow it down player.
Disappointing, really, when you have an opportunity like that, and Hess definitely he saw that opportunity, wanted to make it happen, and
then they had a beat. It would have been a 4-on-5 right there, like we talked about earlier, kind of like a little build-up drill.
Yep, absolutely.
And now balls with number 20, Patrick Coffey again. Good. Coffey, big catalyst for this offense, like we keep talking about. Now McCarty.
Absolutely, both teams here slowing it really
now
way
it's
down.
Even for this ECU team. They are now at 6. NC State has to shift into their man-down defense. Did it pretty well. ECU now moving around, getting their play quick, wasting no time. Save easy for Stan as he steps into that. Beautiful save.
Great job. He just moved right into the ball there.
Absolutely. Didn't really move his hands as much. A little pump fake, nothing happened. And Lloyd's going to check in at the box. No, it's Johnson and Hopkins couldn't handle it. Ball to the middle of the field, dangerous pass. Johnson scoops it up from his knees. And you have the referee counting out, waiting for the touch. And they got a touch now. And here you go, Miller Barber running around the crease. Looks to Lucia, swipes it up to him. And here you go, we're going to have a double coming. DeLucia's just going to run around before they can get to him.
Both teams doing a good job of slowing it down right here in this second half.
Absolutely, NC State got to wait. Good slip. Now DeLucia has the way to the goal. Gets it to Lloyd. Lloyd can't scoop it up. Lloyd now has it. And neither could Johnson. Johnson plays from his knees, doesn't get it. Now it's going to be a fast break in favor of this ECU team. Runs it down, tries to put on the brakes there. That is number 4, I believe, or number 5. And that is a goal for this ECU team. That is number 5, number 6, I believe, actually. That is Drew Hartquist on the goal. It's still hard to tell with these numbers, the purple trim, and now it's 3-5, 2-goal lead for this ECU team.
Really hate to say it there, but the defense did a good job there pressuring him, but Stanton just did not get in front of that one right there. Had a little bit of the jump shot there, made things happen. ECU takes an even bigger lead.
Absolutely, and that is a goal in favor of this ECU team, making it 3-5, like I previously said, with 12:33 to play. Not time to freak out yet. Still a lot to play left, but you have to worry if you're NC State because they're still man down, and it's one of their big players in Carter Rucker, who's got a knee down over there.
Absolutely, we've called his name more than once this time out in this game. Again, though, State just missing out on these face-off opportunities, allowing ECU to get these chances that we've seen so often.
Absolutely, and the face-off won again by Hess. And another quick goal, making it now 3-6. Now it's a 3-goal lead, and I did not catch you.
I didn't see either. I'm just in shock with how quickly this game has been going. You know,
absolutely. And
ECU has stepped up the pressure.
We have communications here by all 3 defensemen, Sarl, Hopkins, and number 32. Cody Stanford, who has a goal in the game, but they're having a whole conversation about unsure as to what happened there.
Absolutely.
And then you have Hopkins and Sarl pointing to the wing, asking, why don't we have a guy there? Because I think the penalty has expired.
Mm-hmm. No, they had full defense there. They just weren't able to make anything happen on the defensive end.
And McOwen had it in the back of the stick, which is now illegal. Let's see.
ECU
we
is
are
keeping
now
this
at
pressure
even
on.
6s. And it is 6-3 in favor of this ECU team. And ECU is looking really good right now.
They are. Nothing like the. Really, this game resembles nothing that this feel-good game should have been. Although there were some murmurs from the team, about how they weren't as confident going into this game as they could be. You have to imagine the Liberty game kind of shook their confidence.
Absolutely. There you go. Stand back on getting saves after letting up 3 in a row.
3 very quick ones to start this second half. Or two, sorry.
I
Apologies.
apologize. And Stan now at the clear. You hear the communication from Sarl. Sarl, lucky bounce there for him.
The clears and passes just not doing well for State right now.
Sarl, good job there. Looks for a man. Gets it in Barber. Barber putting on the legs here. Ooh, looks like a little cross-check to the neck, but he gets away. Man tried to match. He was waiting for a righty shot, and Barber felt it coming, so he had to switch lefty, and obviously he's a righty for a reason.
Yes, absolutely. No, taking a shot with a lefty shot when you're used to the righty is going to hurt your chances and your accuracy. But really, Barber has not had the presence that he usually has on this offense.
No,
Lloyd more than carrying the load for this one right now.
Speaking about carrying, Lloyd carries it around, nugged away there. Here you go. Ball's checked away. DeLucia now on the ground. Lloyd now trying to pick it up. Ball's almost popped in there. Ball's just all on the ground. You hear someone shout, "Clear the crease," which basically just means put the body on the ground. It doesn't matter. And that's going to be a penalty. That's going to be on Captain Miller Barber as number 26 runs it down. Here you go, 39. Barber knows what he's done. He's just going to go ahead and run to the box right now. He's checking out already. Barber cannot be happy right now. Ball scooted around. Gets a little skip pass there off the ground. And you hear Demarest yelling, "Press it, press it."
Well, because especially with the penalty pending, once they finally get possession
you don't want to give them a shot.
Absolutely. You want to get this over with as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Sorrell is giving them the business there with the stick. More stick checks, but number 17, Zachary Watkins. And ball's on the ground.
Good interception right there.
Good nug there by Stanford. And here we go, a slash for a minute. So we're going to have man up again for this ECU club. And ECU, really unorthodox. They don't like swinging it around and feeling out the defense, making them move and then starting their offense. They go straight into it. They want them settled in the box, which is very interesting. You never see that in high school, college, or professional lacrosse.
It looks like they are taking advantage of the fact that they think they have state on their heels, and they've proven that they do because they've caught them off guard, especially with that last goal that they scored. Just the defense was not ready for their attack.
No, not at all. And here you go. Now moving around. Now you have Lombardi calling for it. No one sees him. Moving around here. Lombardi looking for that skip pass. Not there. On the ground, trying to be hockeyed out by Stanford. Stanford on the whole ECU team. And it was Black playing with the free hand. And that was not Cody Stanford. That was number 33, Travis Hinshaw, playing great defense. Now Hinshaw's going to try to do it all himself. And ball got tipped back. Here you go. I think we're back at even. Ball's just going to be chucked to the corner. They have DeLucia now hustling for it. It's going to be him. And he almost comes up to the ground ball there. Ball's on the ground. Looks like he got tripped up a little bit. You hear people yelling, "Help him." And DeLucia, with the hustle there, gets it. And we're still man down. Beautiful play there. The short-handed goal, to use a hockey term there. Beautiful play by DeLucia. The hustle that he had there to get that ground ball and find a cutting Johnson.
Absolutely.
Put him on the goal step.
Johnson using his speed to get inside really quick there and past the defense, Trying to reduce this lead as much as they can now. Only down 6-4 at this point.
Absolutely. That's very impressive there for this team. And they're still going to be man down, which is huge. If you're man down and you end up getting a goal out of the deal, cutting into this lead too, without your prolific scorer in Miller Barber, who's been muzzled.
Yes, he's been very quiet this afternoon.
And here we go. Face off now. Very quiet again by both teams. Feel like the momentum might start to shift. But however, the face off was lost. And Pryor now getting the hustle there. Pryor just going to look to move field and just dips it up, and no one was home.
Did a good job using the long stick there.
Absolutely. Good little check there. Moved down. Had the opportunity, but now it's going to go NC State ball. But they're not out of the woods yet. They still have to clear the ball.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, and they've struggled with doing that, especially against Liberty last night. They're trying to swing the pendulum back in their favor right now, So they're trying to get this in their advantage.
And here we go. Barber checks back onto the field. And we have multiple men open. We got number 21, Schultz, going to stay back for the stick Hopkins there. Now Schultz is coming back over with Sullivan now. Just going to settle it in, try to get something going. Ball's now up to Number 12, Rucker, now moved over to Andrew Lloyd. We have the number 1 midfield line in. And here we go. Attack from Max. That's DeLucia now. Try to get it. Sullivan. Sullivan just hasn't been able to get a good handle on the ball today. Ball's now lofted up. Good little hit there, right into the shoulder. It was clean. And Miller Barber now trips up 2 men on that spin move. Oh, and just it falls out of the back, and you hear ECU yelling at him. We're going to have a legal play now. That was the right call by the official. You had a lot of physicality from number 10 there, who's just hitting Johnson while he was down, and can't have that. But you don't want to see that Rucker just having it fall out of the back of the stick. Just couldn't have it there.
Absolutely, especially with that opportunity that they had right there.
And here we go, now moved around. Andrew Lloyd is going to go to his left side and probably scrape back to the right. However, I stand corrected. And here we go, Carter Rucker now bodies in, doesn't get the shot to fall, but we get the chase.
Yep.
Have not seen a lot of shots like we did in the first quarter from this NC State team. Really been relatively quiet as DeLucia comes around and looks for that post. Beautiful shot right where you wanted it. And
a little bit of a cheap shot there.
Yeah, the referee says it is clean as the chest.
You see how chippy it's getting right here.
It is getting very chippy. This ECU team is starting dominance on the smaller state squad. Here you go, ball's now right, stuck in the sand pit. You gotta be careful to not get caught off sides here. And NC State is lucky to not be off sides with 2 deep holes on the other side of the field. And here we go. Not gonna have a great fast break attempt here, but shot, and it's gonna be chased, and it's gonna go to the Pirates. I thought that was gonna be Stan's ball, but it's gonna go Pirates.
Now, Stan with the good hustle, but the Pirates player was ready for it and was just already in stride running down the field at that point.
He absolutely was, and here we go, ball booted around now. And it's going to be with number 20, Coffee, moves it up to McCarthy. Now it's on the right side of the field, back with McCarthy in the middle now. And Selin now looking for an attempt.
They're taking their time right here, just looking for their opportunities. Great pick off there by State's defense, though.
Beautiful nug there. Sarl now with it, looking for someone to come to him. Sarl's going to go and lead the offense on his own.
Good job by State moving the ball up the field here, though.
Number 10, DeLucia now with it. Puts on a little spin move. Doesn't have anything, just going to settle it down. Here we go, number 21. Scholes with it. Second midfield line. Scholes gets by. Scholes moves, gets to the left, gets his left hands free, but shot wide. Sullivan with the chase.
Looks like State will retain possession, though, with Sullivan managing to chase that ball down.
Absolutely. Here you go. DeLucia. Ooh, risky pass, but it pays off. Ooh, pass to the middle does not. And it's going to be sat on by Harrison. They're staying with their big goalie in cage today.
He's done a fantastic job so far, so why would you change at this point, really?
Absolutely. We talked to their coach earlier. Christensen said, depending on how they're playing, you don't want to mess it up. And stands now out of the goal. Ooh, gets by. Flag is down. There's another one. Looks like it was going to be. Oh, beautiful pass. Hitting the back there. That's going to draw another. We're going to have 2 penalties here. 2 different players going to be forward. Number 39 comes up limping. Dropped his mouthpiece too. It looked like he knew exactly what it was. Now he's going to limp back. And here we go.
Difficult to see. The ECU definitely being very chippy. You can't go 2-man down like this right here, though.
Especially not when you have a lead like this, and you don't want to let it go, but they have been playing phenomenal in this penalty kill.
They have, absolutely.
And here we go, 4:22 left in the third quarter. 4-6 in favor of the Pirates team. and you hear the referee saying, wait till the whistle. Had one referee run all the way back. Park Stanton now catching his breath in the cage in a squat position. And here you go. Miller Barber now moves it around. Hank Moss is now in the game.
Barber been a lot more active in the second half than he was in the first already.
Moss now with it. Now to Barber. Moves it around. And here we go. Looks for the shot. Lloyd shoots it high. Not where you want to go. Right into the mitts of the keeper. And he's just going to chuck it down. Hopefully they can come up with it. Sorrell plays ball. He's just going to get it now. And you hear great communication there from Rucker saying ball, ball, ball. And now we have another opportunity. But good nug there. And it's going to go back in favor of this ECU team. And now they're not just chucking it down. They've got a ride. They've got a clear going. And it's now 5-on-4, I believe, or 5-on-6. I stand corrected.
The strength of Harrison really helps with those deep passes, though. Allowing him to actually chuck it down like that.
And you hear the chatter. It's now even everywhere. Great defense there by.
The entire state defense, really. They've done a great job.
And here we go, by number 34 just settling in, power cradles.
They're just taking their time. They're letting everybody get set so that they can run some plays potentially, make sure that they can get the best shot that they possibly can.
Ball's on the ground, trying to be taken away here. It's going to go in favor of the ECU Pirates, and you hear great communication from the defenseman saying, hey, you got no one, don't worry, you got time.
Absolutely. So you hear all this chatter from them, and it definitely helps them communicate. We hadn't seen that on those last 3 goals. There was a lack of communication, and it really allowed ECU to put up those goals in such rapid succession.
Absolutely. NC State is not the loudest, and ball just dribbled out. I think he got deflected on the stick, and down goes one of the defensemen. I think that was Sorrell. Sorrell back up to his feet, gets it. Risky pass there. Got a good hit. Ooh, barely keeps it in. Hopkins played the ball out of bounds. Can't really fault him there. At least it's not going to be an unsettled fast break to the goal.
It was good hustle, and he managed to slow it down, so ECU has to take some time here instead of getting that fast break like they were looking at.
Absolutely, and we have a timeout in favor of the Pirates. And this game really, ECU has the lead, but we don't know really who has the momentum right now. It feels like it could go any way, especially NC State could just get something going on offense.
Absolutely, no, and they've done a great job so far with that. So anything can happen still. It's still a very close game, but,
It truly is.
Yeah.
Truly is.
It's still a lot of game left to play, about 16 minutes left or so. Closer to 17, really.
17.
But still, a lot of game left. Anything can happen within those 17 minutes.
Absolutely. Yeah, 6 tracks going on now. Maybe it's going to be uneventful. Unsure. We had a lot of illegal sticks in that Virginia Tech game that we called.
Absolutely. I don't think we'll ever have one with as many illegal sticks as that one had. I mean, seriously, there was something like 6.
And that was in that eventful third quarter, I believe.
It was.
It started out, yeah.
Virginia Tech taking advantage of those man-down situations every single time down there.
And here you go, Huddle's now breaking.
Yep.
And
just take another opportunity real quick to remind you that PackTV is now live 24/7 on YouTube. Now you can check the live stream of PackTV as well as all of our on-demand content on YouTube. Search PackTV on YouTube or link to it from our website, go.ncsu.edu/sports. Now catch all of our good stuff and many more from our comrades here at the station.
Absolutely. And one of those great shows that we have is Over the Boards. And don't forget to come check that out on Monday at Moe's Southwest Grill at 6 o'clock for the final Over the Boards with Mike Gazzilio. And it's the last one of the season.
Yep.
Relive the 2017-2018 hockey season. Ask questions and meet some players tomorrow night, 6 p.m. in Moe's in Cameron Village.
Absolutely. It's a great opportunity to cap off such an amazing season. Went to the tournament. Not quite the result we wanted, but, still a good season, good finish.
Absolutely.
Exciting for the future.
Absolutely. And here we go. Now ball's going to be carried around. ECU had a play drawn up. Have to believe. And here we go. Now with McCarthy. Move down. Back with McCarthy. Quick. It looks like a man-up play for the most part. Just quick movement, which is something that lacrosse teams will do. They'll just use their man-up play in times of need, even if it's even.
It looks like, they're trying to use the speed because they were able to beat State several times with their straight-up speed and confusion with their passes. So it looks like they're trying to do something similar to that before they settle down.
Now we have a 1-4-1 here. Defense has to be wary of the man back at X. They're going to attack from X. Cody Stanford on him now. Good defense. Oh, beautiful shot. Did not hug pipe like he needed to, but he just sniped it over the right shoulder of Parker Stan, and Stan tried to jump at it too. Didn't get it.
Really, he had an opportunity there to save it, but it really was a great shot. I can't fault Stan too much because of that underhanded, just straight up into the top back of the net. It's very difficult to save right there.
Absolutely. That was very tough for Stan. You got to make sure you're hugging pipe, but that's something that Harrison has been exceeding it. And just his huge frame, being able to hug the pipe like that.
Absolutely.
And if you're going to hit over his top shoulder, it's going to be phenomenal.
No, and Stanton's defense has really just been he's done an okay job thus far, and he's the goalie, obviously, being stuck with through this coaching staff, through all of the troubles that he's had in recent games.
Absolutely. And here you go. NC State now.
No, and the big difference between these two goalies, though, being stature, because Parker Statton's sitting here at 5'10", or 5'11", apologies.
Probably 5'10", honestly.
Yeah.
I remember I used to tell coaches, they'd be like, how tall are you? I go, 5'10". I'm sitting at a lucky 5'8". On a good day.
Now, yeah, absolutely.
Great nug there by Johnson, and he takes it the other way, but proceed, please.
But with Parker Statton having that 5'11", 170-pound frame versus the 6'3", 275 frame of Marcus Harrison, it forces them to play very differently. Statton struggling occasionally with his presence in the net. As you noticed, he struggled with hugging the rail right there, making sure that he can't get it past him, whereas Harrison uses the rail to his utmost advantage.
Turnover, and that will end the quarter. It'll be 4-7 going into the fourth quarter in favor of these Pirates team. One more than the final total from last year, but
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think NC State's got to get it to Barber. Got to get something going. They don't have time to have turnovers the entire time now.
No, not anymore.
And that will do it for this quarter, and we'll be right back as the fourth quarter gets underway. Welcome back down for the final quarter of action on sunny Lower Method Field. Still no clouds in the sky.
Unbearably hot because of the sun just bearing down on us right now.
Absolutely, and unbearably hot is this face-off man for ECU. Garrett Hess has been playing phenomenal, doing really well against Will McOwen. Haven't seen any Hank Moss on the face-off X, and there's another win. Oh, spoke a little too soon. Ball still on the ground. Almost I believe that's technically a win, but it's picked up by Will. Will gets it to Devin Johnson and runs off, and big time there. Might have technically lost the face-off, but they still get the ball.
If you wind up with the ball, I think you really should count that as a victory in your book, you know?
Absolutely. It might not be great in the stat book, but all that matters is getting it on the offensive side. Now you got your number one midfield line in, led by Andrew Lloyd. And he moves it around. Andrew Lloyd, normally in a number 1 jersey, has been wearing number 31 pretty recently, and it suits him pretty well. And here you go, Miller Barber gets around. Oh, had the shot that he wanted, just a bit high.
Great deflection by Harrison.
Had him beat a little high, hit the bottom of the post, and flew upwards. That's exactly where he wanted that shot. He knew where he was going to beat him, and just nice little post up and slipped around the defenseman there. Here you go, Sullivan gonna carry it around very quick, kind of like a cat, just quick direction change. Ooh, turnaround shot like Kobe. A little fadeaway with the kick, making it now 5-7. Sullivan's now getting that muzzle off of him too. He's
Absolutely.
been very quiet. Finally get to call his name in a good light, as he hasn't been able to handle it pretty soon. But what I love out of this ECU team is they're all checking each other. Hey, you did good. Not really your fault. That's a beautiful shot right into the sand. Harrison thought it was going to be a higher bounce, and he wasn't right for that low sand bounce.
No, and you saw Harrison stick out his leg, just a last-ditch effort to try to block it however he could. But really, it hit that sand, and that sand really does make the spin on the ball very different, and so it just managed to spin right past him into the net.
Absolutely. And a big thing here is if this NC State team can win this face-off, keep that momentum building, because they got that goal off of a face-off win. And
absolutely.
ball's down now, and it looks like it's going to go in favor of the Pirates. Hess with it, now moves it back. Not a clean pass. And you
the
hear
Pirates
hollering.
communicating a lot.
Oh, beautiful play here. Run down the middle of the field is the Pirates midfield man. Now down to number 6.
Text becoming even harder to read as the sun gets higher in the sky.
Absolutely, that's Drew Hardquist with it, number 6. Ball's now moved around. It's going to be settled in by this Pirates team, which is big. Stopping the momentum from NC State early.
Absolutely. No, and you have to imagine that State really wants to slow it down because they've succeeded on defense when things are slow.
Absolutely. Here you go. Ball on the field. In the way, can't start. That's a safety hazard. And here you go. Now we're going to start it up again. Got Hardquist with it. ECU is fired up over there. Their bench is really into it. Oh, a behind the back shot by number 42, Jared Bloom, who's one of the players that Coach Christensen told us about, who would be a big part of this team. He's probably their top attackman.
Haven't called his name as often as I thought we would going into this game, but he still has had an impact on this offensive side.
Not at all. You hear a lot of chatter from the ECU. Coach waving at him or something. And ball had the pass, didn't get it, got hit, and there's a penalty flag now down. Feels like it got called on by the players.
Little bit of a late flag there, yeah, indeed.
What? Yep, and it's going to be a penalty. He's just waving off the flag. It's going to be even. It's just going to be a flag is now waved off as just an interference call, so it's going to be 6-on-6, but it goes back to the Pirates, which is still big.
Absolutely. No, and this Pirates team, you can just sense the energy coming from them. State really, their bench just isn't in it if you can feel the energy. ECU is cheering, they're hollering, they're looking for those calls. State is much more quiet and demure when these things happen.
Absolutely. It felt like it was going to be a different State team. I thought they were going to come out with a lot of firepower, but I think this is something that they weren't expecting. They were not expecting to be down like this. Not to this ECU club.
No, they had a lot of confidence, and especially a lot of that goes back to the fact that they hadn't lost to ECU before. This is kind of uncharted territory for them to be in this situation, you know, playing down with only 11 and a half minutes really left in this game to play.
Absolutely, and here we go. Gonna be sized up here. The slide comes now. There's number 22. Morgan Thomas on the drive, now moved down. It's going to come from X. It's going to be a two-man game with Coffee, and I believe that's McCarty. McCarty now curls it around. Now it's going to be flipped on the total opposite side. Now ball with Thomas, moved around. I believe that's McCarty. Still can't really tell. It's either McCarty or number 6, Drew Hardquist. Still can't tell, and it is Hardquist now sizing up the short stick, D-Mitty.
Hardquist has done a great job facilitating for his team.
Absolutely,
so far
ball's bounced off. Ball is bounced off of number 7, Justin Knox, and that does not feel good. You don't have padding in your gut. Only goalies have the chest pads.
Absolutely.
Here you go. This is some good cat and mouse game. Ooh, there's the goalie you needed there. The cutting Hardquist 5-hole. And he's fired up. Hardquist is fired up right now. That's a beautiful goal. Jack Sartle can't believe it. Stick on his head, stressed out, almost surrender Cobra position. It is 10:30 left in the quarter. 5-8, sorry, in favor of this ECU team.
Every single time you think that NC State might make a run back in this game and bring it back, ECU answers with a goal of their own, keeping this 3-goal lead right now and just keeping them at arm's reach, you know?
Absolutely. And you gotta think ECU has really come out. They knew that they were probably the ugly stepsister in this in this conference, powered by three powerhouses in NC State, USC, and and Clemson, and felt disrespected and wanted to come out to NC State in front of a lot of fans that are bleeding purple, and they're showing right now why they should be taken seriously. And it's going to go, another ground ball goes back in favor of the Pirates, and Pirates can feel this upset brewing.
Absolutely. No, and they're looking for it. They're ready for it. They came into this hungry, and it's shown. Absolutely. That they really want this win. And honestly, they're showing that they want it a little bit more than this NC State team. That shot almost going off the post right there.
And the frustration brewing over for this NC State squad. The ball was withstanding a legal man pushed into the crease and just goes back to Hartquist and this ECU Pirates team.
Really, State can't afford to let that happen. You know, you still have 9 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. You still have an opportunity to make this game work. You can't have dumb fouls like that where you just push a guy out of frustration.
Absolutely not. It is very demeaning to the team. And there you go, good double here. Yeah, great job.
Just looking for something to do right now.
Yeah, Lombardi couldn't find a man to get it to. Just the double went away, and now here we go. Jared Blum, number 42, sizes up Johnson. This is the matchup that they want. They have a short stick. They switch. Ball skips. You hear the fire call.
Gonna take a shot from way far out, but Stanton
No one was
right
on
there.
him. Got two men now doubling Stanton. Should make it easier for this clear, but unsure what NC State will do. Got a lot of traffic in that mid area. Yeah, number 17 staying back, Zachary Watkins. And here you go now, Scholes, or no, that's Ruckers, excuse me, bringing it in. And you hear a frantic Demarest calling for a timeout. And there you go, Harrison taking his water back with him. You know, that's one of his favorite things. And Logan, what are some of your favorite things?
Two of my favorite things, though, are Moe's and ice hockey. Imagine.
Could you ever combine those?
I imagine that you actually can. In our final over the boards this season, Mike Gazzillo will be at the Cameron Village Moe's, and you can relive the entire 2017-18 season, ask questions, and meet some of the players tomorrow night at 6 p.m. at Moe's Cameron Village.
Logan, I'm very happy that you can combine two of your loves in hockey and Mexican food.
Were it not for my academic career, I'd be there.
Oh, I'm very sad for you, but at least others that love hockey and Mexican food can combine that and go out to Moe's tomorrow night at 6 p.m. And here we go. Just
final stretch right here, you know. It's been a long weekend of lacrosse games, but
absolutely.
It's been a very exciting weekend. Had some good games.
The Liberty team came out and they put on a clinic yesterday. They were very, very impressive to watch. They're such a good team.
Absolutely. Their offense and defense both just making some plays happen.
Absolutely. And here we go. NC State, 2 huddles. You got to be frantic. You got to drop a play here. Got to get something in the back of the net.
I have to wonder about that, admittedly. Just now that you mentioned the offensive and defensive huddles, you see ECU's got the entire team mentality going on. And with the flow of passing it up and down the field, they have been the better team at doing that today, and you have to wonder if it's because they've got better communication between the squads.
It really could be. I never even thought of it like that, but that's a very good idea. I remember like my team in high school, we'd normally just do one big huddle unless it was a big, like we had to do something. Like if it was man up, we'd have man up and man down, where we just didn't need everyone else in the way. We didn't need distraction. So the team huddle, I feel like you might see if there's a big play in the game where they need to just talk to a few specific players, they will. Or it might just be because they don't have as many coaches on the ECU squad as you do for NC State. But maybe we'll never know. But I do like that analysis. I never thought of it like that, Logan.
Just questioning things, seeing the disconnect that the offense and defense has had for NC State today.
Absolutely. Here you go, Barber up to Johnson. Johnson brings it back to Barber. You gotta try to get a switch here. You want to get Barber on a short stick midi. Barber's now just gonna try to go ISO, gets around, gets where he wants to be. Beautiful fake high, finishes low. Barber with the patience there. Didn't see a man coming. There's supposed to be a coma slide come across the crease.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't there.
No, great job. And that's prime Miller Barber right there. That's what he's been all season to this club, and he's really provided that offensive spark, bringing them within 2 right now, making this game still manageable with about 8 minutes and 12 seconds remaining.
However, you got to give ECU the advantage, not just because of the 2-goal lead, but the face-off X. They have been dominating.
Absolutely. And just the face-off and the confidence are just very low. Like, you have to imagine, the face-offs, does that get in your head knowing that they're just going to have possession starting out? Now you know that they're still fighting every face-off.
Absolutely. You don't want to say they're not because they obviously are. But
most certainly.
McOwen gets torched again by Hess. And but great check there on the wrist, but luckily it ends up in the stick of the midfielder for ECU. Just tears through everyone. That's number 25, who is not on the roster. Awesome. And here you go, number 6, Hartquist with it.
We apologize for the missing numbers, by the way, but we can only do as much as we can with those online rosters.
Absolutely. Here you go, around the crease, try to get it low. Miller Barber smelt it out. He knew where it was going to go.
Staten just going to trot this up, or apparently just pass it to the side and prove me wrong immediately.
Absolutely, yeah. Long cross-field passes. Saw a lot of that in the Liberty game. Back to Stan. Stan now to the middle of the field. Stanford with a goal in the day. Goes to Johnson. And that's Zachary Watkins now running off the field, getting in the subs. You gotta stay with your fresh top midfield line. You gotta keep them going around. And ball's now in the bottom of the field.
Absolutely, and you see this defense just kind of swarming around down here for
just
ECU.
A little low, under 7 minutes left, and here's Sullivan being harassed by the deep hole, trying to get under, and he almost did.
Good shove there by
absolutely. Just make sure he's got a man hung. This is exactly what you want. You're gonna get an ISO here. You want the man hung because he doesn't know where you're gonna go. You switching hands. He's gonna go right. He picked the wrong side. Ball bounces out. Sullivan got tripped up. It looked like a little bit there. Out of the scrum comes the smaller Johnson. And there you go. Nothing being called.
Tons of NC State there.
Absolutely, tons of NC State players going. Got the re-attack.
This offense looking a lot better than it has the rest of this game.
A forced shot there by Rucker. He didn't really get much on it. Right in the stick. And there you go, Andrew Lloyd now on defense. And he's going to be chasing down number 22 for ECU now.
Good flip behind his head pass right there. Trying to run as much of the clock down as they can, And they've got about 5 minutes, 45 seconds remaining. They're up 2 points. You just got to keep it in your possession. Maybe get another goal here to make it that much more impossible to make up.
Absolutely. Great check there by Pryor, and that's going to be a black hole. It's going white. And that's Knox with it now. Knox is going to get doubled. Moves it back. Now it's going to be quarterbacked by Stanton. Stanton's just going to move it over to number 33. Travis Hinshaw now in close D. Hopkins moves it up. Quarterback's down. There you go. Now it's back on the NC State side of the field. And that's going to be a penalty flag. Cross-check to the back of the neck, I want to say. And there you go. Good job by I think that was number 10, Anthony DeLucia again, who's been doing a very good job. It's either DeLucia or it definitely was DeLucia, as you can see him getting up, shaking his hand. He's got sand all up in his glove now. Been playing in the sand pit a little too long.
Absolutely. And you have to imagine that that's just absolutely miserable, really. Having the glove full of sand is just going to be painful for the rest of the game. And you have to imagine that that's just pretty annoying.
And then not just this game, but think about prior games. It's not going to come out easy.
No, absolutely not.
Think about when you go to the beach and you wear like Sperry's on the beach. You get sand for 3 days there. Ooh, tough one there. Sullivan had the shot he wanted. Looked like Harrison almost toppled the goal there. He hit
again with that
hard.
giant frame.
Absolutely. Barber harassed. This ECU team knows who's the leader. Ooh, shot goes wide. It's going to stay NC State ball.
No, the trotting to make sure that stays in their possession. That's essential right now. Only down 2.
Ball is now released and turnover unforced. Miller Barber threw it right over the head of Lloyd, and it will go ECU ball with 4:32 to play. NC State's down 6-8.
Sloppy play, really, right there. You can't afford to have that happen this late in the game.
Absolutely, you got a good double. Ball's out. It's gonna go NC State ball, and there was a ward on that play too. That's what you need. DeLucia with it. He was looking like he was gonna go to Cody or to Michael Sullivan, and Sullivan now with it.
Clock ticking down. They need to make something happen here.
Absolutely.
Give themselves
Johnson,
plenty of time.
just want to get Johnson quick. Good move there by Johnson. Good skip pass. Beautiful offense there. Johnson did it all. Beautiful assist right to Michael Sullivan, and now it's a 1-point game. What do you feel right now?
I'm shocked, honestly. Johnson with a fantastic spin move there. Just juked his defender out of his shoes, really. Broke his ankles. A move we'd see more on a football field or a basketball court, really. Just breaking his ankles, really, and finding the open man. I apologize for stumbling over my words. I'm just still in shock over how well that play was executed.
That was a beautiful play there by Johnson, and then being able to find the open man, not forcing the shot because he saw the double come and he knew he wouldn't get a clean shot off. Found Michael Sullivan, and Sullivan was able to bury it in the back of the net. But yeah, I think face-off here is probably going to go to ECU favor, and he can't win when you can't have the ball.
Absolutely.
And it's won cleanly by Hess there. And Hess moves it down, and we got 3:52 to play. ECU is now moving it around.
Have to imagine neither goalie is satisfied with giving up this many goals.
No, not at all. Ooh, close to a ward there. Yeah, watch that free hand. You're not allowed to play with the free hand in lacrosse. And here we go. Just poked, trying to get the ball around. Great poke check. Ball. No one knows where it went. Pryor has it on the ground. They're just going to play. And they're going to call it interference on Cody Stanford. And it's going to go.
Shoved him a little high there.
I did. And ball saved. Great save. Shot by Hardquist. Goes a little high. Parkinson with the save. Trying to find an open man. Men just hanging out in the areas. There you go. There's Knox. Just going to power through. Or Zachary Watkins, I stand corrected. Now ball's moved around, and you got to feel the momentum. NC State still sideline is pretty quiet. The fans are getting into it now, though.
Sideline has just been dead today, though, uncharacteristically. Usually you see a little bit more excitement, especially in a close game like this and one that they thought they were going to win.
Absolutely. It might not be the result and how they get it done that they wanted it to be, but you still got to win.
Yeah, exactly. You got to have your excitement up because you've given yourself a chance to potentially get back in this game, but there's just no energy coming from the sideline right now.
Absolutely. And there's Miller Barber. The double came. Barber's still trying to get under the. Oh, ball poked out. And there's going to be a penalty on Barber, and that's going to be detrimental to this NC State team.
Especially now that ECU knows they have that penalty and they can just do anything they want with it.
They just don't want to do anything risky. Right here, uncharacteristically, you're going to want to be very slow to get a shot off.
Absolutely.
You don't want to force it.
Unless you find the opportunity.
Like right here. Ball's on the ground, and now it's going to go in favor Now we're going to have 151. Penalty will start. Let's see. How long the penalty is it going to be?
Got a flag out here, thrown by the referee.
And is there going to be it? It's just one man down. I did not see how long. I think it might have been a slash. Like if that's a minute, it will be released at 51 seconds, and if it's not, it will be released a minute 21 seconds. But that's still huge because this ECU team will have to keep it in the box, I believe. And here you go. They'll start with Hartquist, who really has had a great second half here. And this is going to be an uncharacteristically aggressive man down. Because great save there by Sand. You got to force it, because what's another goal? If you give up a goal right now with this little amount of time, it's not that bad. As opposed to, you had to get the ball back, so you had to be very aggressive.
Absolutely. And they're struggling right now with the fact
and there we go. There's
that point.
Is that ball going to roll? And it will not. And it'll be picked up. And it'll go back to ECU. It got picked up for a second there. Now it's back in favor.
Clock's ticking down. The NC State has to make something happen here.
And it's going to be a minute penalty, so it'll be released in about almost 20 seconds now. Good checks. Great defense, and they're going to call. Let's see what they call. And it's going to stay with ECU. That's just a detrimental blow to NC State. Timeout called by ECU here.
Just over a minute left, 1 minute and 2 seconds remaining. State has to be worried right now. Only down 1 point. They can still tie this game up and potentially take a lead if they manage to get 2 quick goals.
Absolutely, but you also have to think they don't want to score too much time on the clock if they do get a goal, because then the face-off X has been dominated by Hess and this ECU team, and they could get an opportunity to end it in regulation before NC State with the possible face-off win. But what NC State needs more is just the ball back.
Absolutely. No, and you have to imagine that going forward, the face-offs are going to be of great concern. And you have to wonder if they're really going to actually focus on it more in practice so that they can win a couple more once it comes game time.
Absolutely. NC State has had tons of trouble on the face-off X, but their offense has come alive pretty recently in this fourth quarter, and Miller Barber has been doing a great job. And I would like to see maybe Johnson with it if we get an opportunity on the last try. See Johnson with it, get him set up, because he has the speed. No matter if he's on, they've got to switch a long stick midi on him. Except for then you leave Lloyd with no one on him.
Absolutely.
So NC State has a little abundance of riches there, but Lloyd does not have the speed that Johnson has, which you can cover that much easier with that longer stick, that pole.
Absolutely. No, and Johnson's speed and agility really does come into play, especially in times like this where you need a quick goal.
Absolutely, and here we go. And NC State has one timeout left. And I don't believe that
we may not see
ECU
that.
has any. May not get an opportunity for a timeout here, and here we go. NC State is going to pressure here. It's still man down.
Now.
And it is even now. Even, you got to expect a black call here. You're going to pressure everyone. They got to keep it in, so NC State's going to force them out. There's a triple team coming. Here you go. Just got to lock off the Jason man.
State not nearly aggressive enough right here.
No, it doesn't look like it. 30 seconds left. You got to just double this. It doesn't matter. And here you go.
23 seconds left.
They're keeping it behind the cage. That's a great double by the team. NC State. Ball's now scooped up.
Possession with
12 seconds left.
Remaining.
Sorrell's got it. Sorrell's on the carpet. ECU's got it now. It's moved around. And time is now expiring. There's a frustration hit. And that is the game. ECU beats NC State 8-7 in Lower Method Field as NC State joyous, jumping, dogpiling on their team. Very happy to go to 1-1 in the conference. NC State falls to 0-1 in a big game that they thought they should have won, and they did not play up to par. It did not look like. And this ECU team came to play.
This is not the result that NC State was hoping for
Not
here
at all.
today.
And we'll be back in a few minutes to wrap up and give you a conclusion of the game. Welcome back down as we wrap up this game. ECU wins this one 9-8. Big game for the Pirates, going to 3-2 on the season. NC State now falls to 1-5. Not where you want to be, especially when you lose your first conference game. So, like we talked to Coach Demarest, you can go 4 and whatever and still make the tournament if you win the right 4 games. And they lost one of the 4 games that they need to win.
Absolutely, and with a disappointing season thus far, 5 is not a good sign. Morale, I imagine, is low after a game like this in which they lost a game that they really expected to win. You hear players calling it a feel-good game and a confidence builder, a chance to really just get back to basics, and then they lose those. You have to imagine that they're going to be stunned by this loss.
Absolutely, and ECU just played phenomenal. They did not look like the underdog at all. They looked like the better team the entire game up until that fourth quarter where NC State really hit a stride, but the tail of the second half was Hartquist. Hartquist played phenomenal. Number 6 for the ECU team. He had great goals and just really quarterbacked that team. He'd get behind X, had a really good feel for it. It was a big matchup with when he got switched with a short stick. Now, face-off. That is also the big story. Hess was phenomenal for the Pirates, and NC State, they stuck with McOwen today. Yeah. No Moss, but doesn't matter. Same result as yesterday. Big game in that column.
Absolutely, and you have to imagine that McOwen might be a little rusty after a game off, per se, but you have to imagine that they still want to have faith in him, especially like with their goalie Staten as well. You have to imagine that they want to believe in them, but at this point in the season, you need to look at making some changes potentially.
Absolutely, but they want to keep that confidence in McOwen because he is just a freshman. He's getting better as it goes. Stan, however, a senior, you don't want to turn your back on a senior leader like that, and he's been playing phenomenal. He played phenomenal today, I mean to say, and it was just a tale of 2 really good goalies. Offense has played pretty well, but Harrison, for the big-bodied 275er for that ECU team, he played phenomenal. He did what he needed to do in between the pipes.
Absolutely. And at the end of the game, it really is, it doesn't matter what happens, it all comes down to the goals. And in that, Harrison was the better goalie today.
Absolutely. And you can catch, NC State will be in action next week against South Carolina in Columbia. We will not be covering that game. And then they play against Appalachian State on the following Sunday, 24th and 25th. And then they come back in April. I believe it's the 4th. We'll have men's and women's lacrosse streaming on PackTV. And for PackTV, I'm Sam Harding, and this is Logan Ward signing off.